Welcome to the second slow unpacking of Commander Legends, where we go through packs slightly faster. These packs are all from the same booster box, so this is a nice replacement for one way too big stream. And right off the bat we have the first card, which is still blurred but is Howling Golem, a 3 mana 2/3 that is really nice for draft as it helps everyone draw cards no matter what color you are in. So I really love this design because of that. Then Trusty Pack Beast, which is actually called Margaret, is just what it says, a trusty pack beast that helps you carry your artifacts back from the graveyard to your hand. Then Run Away Together is also cute like this, because we see a monster with a kid, but the monster is actually really kind, as we see in the flavor. Then Dragon Mantle is interesting because it gives a creature fire breathing. And I love this mechanic because mostly it is just a really old one that has so much history behind it. So that is a really cool one to maybe go into later. Ambush Viper is interesting because in the flavor we see a Falcon Wrath, and this one really works well with Vraska. Then we have Briarblade Adept, which is another elf that kills goblins, which is a really big theme in this commander set. And they do this because they don't like ugly things, but this one is not too cute either. Then Commander Sphere is something that we cannot ignore. It is such a staple in this set, and we really have to go into this one and its meaning for Commander. Because in my memory, Commander Sphere was one of the first other approachable good mana rocks in Magic, aside from Sol Ring of course, which is another debate. This Commander Sphere is an artifact that should be the possession of your commander, which can lead to some funny stories in my mind. In any case, it harmonizes with the essence of its master, and in this way the sphere could give you a color in your commander's color identity, which seems like such a smart wording to me. Then at any time, if for some reason you are flooded, you draw a card, giving all the colors ramp and card draw at the same time. This makes this rock my personal favorite just because of how everyone can use it to make up for weaknesses in their deck strategy. The sphere is priced like a common or an uncommon at worst. You can find it anywhere and you should use it in your homebrew decks as mana ramp, fixing and card draw, and because of that and its stories it gives me such a nostalgic feeling. Then we have Wildheart Invoker, a card that shows us someone that is fighting for nature and that wants to stop all of the extinction that is going on around her. Sisei's Ring is a play on Sol Ring, where we see that Sisei is saying that with this ring you have friends in worlds you've never heard of. So everyone that plays Sol Ring sort of feels her when she wears this. Ninth Bridge Patrol is one of the consulate people that we have seen a rebel against, or probably a rebel against. And I think it's interesting that we see so many Kaladesh cards in the set. Ripskill Predator is a card from Zendikar where he is a predator that people wanted to make stronger in this world, but then they kind of regretted that decision. Murder is a really big staple as well. This 3 mana instant just destroys a creature, but it is therefore really good as a common, and it is really popular because of it. And look at how the light, that is a really bit bad from my side, really works with the art of Murder. I think it really shows that wherever this card is, it is really a staple and you will recognize it whatever the situation. So we have to go into this a bit later too. Path of Ancestry is a really nice card that I think not many people play yet, but if you are playing Tribal I would play this even though it enters tapped. Because every time you play the creature card that shares a creature type with your commander, you scry one. Mask of Memories, less always good, but it is colorless, so in this draft format again it helps you draw if you can get in for some combat damage. Nadir's Nightblade is a 3 mana 1/3 which does not seem impressive, but it works with tokens you control which leave the battlefield, so they sort of die. Each opponent then loses 1 life and you gain 1 life, so great for artifact strategies. Stingerfling Spider is a card that is just working against flyers, and it says so in the flavor as well. Armored Skyhunter is something that we will go into more because 1, the art is really amazing, but 2, I like cat decks, so honestly that's the reason I want to go into this one. And I think it's cool that it works with the equipment theme that more cat commanders have gotten over the past few years at least. This Sky Hunter first of all has great art from Denman Rook, showing us how it would feel to fly on such a huge bird with our fellow Sky Hunters, as the sun is being ellipsed, a perfect opportunity to enter a fight, when we cannot be seen and the enemy is distracted. Secondly, I like this design as a card, where it attacks and in an equipment or aura heavy deck it would probably strengthen itself, which is awesome because it is self-synergizing. But if it would work with other cards in your deck, this guy can become a really strong enabler for an otherwise clunky strategy that needs equipment and creatures at the same time. Thirdly, as I publicly have a cat deck that has to like equipment by the way, I love this card as it is one of the few evasive cats. Believe it or not that cats shoot all fly, but they are pretty stealthy usually. This cat embodies the stalking cat and is a great inclusion for any of you fellow cat enthusiasts. So you can kind of already see the next card, Gnostro, Voice of the Crags, which is an interesting one because this is a beast in Jeskai and we do not really see that many beasts in here. So it is interesting to see what this one means, and it is different than you think. I can already imagine Gnostro with the Commander Sphere. They would take turns looking at the artifact and maybe the sphere would have to change its color according to the head that's watching it. Other than this, Gnostro is a card that works with you playing multiple spells, or so it says. But it's not really a storm creature like most Jeskai are. This is because scrying 8 or 7 is not often much better than scrying 5. Gaining a few life is not either, and dealing damage falls off after 4 spells or so. That is why I think this Chimera was meant to play with the new play 2 cards in a turn strategy. One that is also in Jeskai colors. I also feel like this fits the philosophy of Jeskai better, where they try to improve their mind slowly through hard work instead of just the Izzet colors of stormy unfocused power. Meanwhile, the character is not Jeskai at all. They are 3 heads with one of the 3 colors in their identity that work against each other constantly. In this way they are actually perfect for Jeskai that is going through an identity crisis in real life at this moment. Valtis, Shadowcat Familiar, is one of the filler commanders. These are really meant to work with other partner commanders and just give them the last color that they need. So if they need black, this card is for that commander. Foundry Inspector, we have seen this card 2 times now and it is really an important card, but I think the other ones were more interesting this time. This one is foil, so that's beautiful too, but I think if this one keeps pushing itself on us, we have to go into it later. And an Elf Warrior, that is beautiful. Thank you for watching, and basically just let me know what cards you would like to know more about, or maybe discuss them in the comments below, or maybe later on in videos that you need to subscribe for to watch, or at least to get notified of.